Podtacular $2.91. Pre-order goodies for May 30th, 2012.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I am your host, Duststorm.
Oh yeah. I'm your co-host, DaftLink.
Way to be on the ball. And by on the ball, I mean dropping the ball.
Yeah.
He dropped it on himself.
Yeah. Hopefully, in beaten time. And we have CruelLEGACEY.
Hey guys, thanks very much for having me on.
Not a problem. You are the director of the Playtime series on Halo Waypoint.
Yeah, I guess you got to blame that on someone. So.
I wasn't thinking about calling it blaming. I was just going to say that you were involved with it, but your words, not mine. I'll let you describe it however you feel like you need to describe it. Blame, developer, same thing, right?
Yeah, really.
As you guys have probably already figured out, Greg is not here with us. He, for lack of a better word, is having real life issues. So we're not sure when he's going to be able to join us back on the show or what his schedule exactly is. But we may have to change up the show times a little bit in order to get him back on the show on a regular basis. So stay tuned. He will make his return at some point. He's just having life problems at the moment.
Hey, aren't we all, man?
For the most part, but his is a little more drastic than the rest of us, I think, at the moment. Because we're here, we're doing the podcast.
Yeah. So, even though I have a psychology and an anatomy exam tomorrow, sigh.
Yeah, you don't want to get those two confused either.
No, probably not.
Sigh.
We'll try to keep this short. Because we start...
Guys, let's discuss Sigmund Freud, that sick freak.
Anyways, I just realized I wasn't recording on Audacity for my thing. Oh well. I'll just use the Skype recording. It's a little bit less quality, but it's still hearable. Anyways,
I bring the less quality wherever I go. So.
Yeah. Well. Oh well.
What are you gonna do?
It happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have a show last week because I made a trip out to New York and saw or visited Chris Burke, or as many of you guys know him, Damien Lacedaemon from the Spartan Life. And there was a Chiptunes festival in New York that I went to, which was amazing. So I had a lot of fun. I did put some videos out last week, so you guys probably saw that already on YouTube. If you have not, go check them out. We have a YouTube channel, and per your guys' request, we're trying to do kind of a news type thing that you see some other guys doing, like the Halo Council. And go check those out. The channel name is Podtac TV. Pod TV was already taken. Podtacular was already taken. And they were taken by previous people that ran Podtacular. So it's not like they just got parked by someone. But they were.
That's the worst.
Yeah. There's Podtacular content on there from like 5 or 6 years ago if you go search those channels. I don't have any way to access them. The guys who own the channels don't have any way to access them anymore, I don't think. So they're just kind of sitting there. So we have Podtac TV. That's our YouTube channel. Go check out those videos. Comment, subscribe, like. Let us know what you think about the videos that we're doing. Give us some suggestions because we want this to be joyful for you guys. And if we get enough people that watch it on a regular basis and you guys like what we're doing, we'll keep doing it. I'm going to try this for about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and see how far it goes.
I gotta say, man, I'm impressed by. I mean, I haven't even seen all of the videos yet. I've seen some of them, but I've been impressed by just the sheer number of them. That you guys are making it rain. You're just every time I look at my Twitter feed, there's a new video coming out. It's fantastic.
Well, there should be from the recording that we're doing tonight. I am making another one to talk about some of the leaks that have come out. Mm-hmm. And just a disclaimer, I did tweet this last night, but I'm going to say it here on the show. In terms of leaks, we will discuss them on the show. We will talk about them briefly, but just like everyone else, they're under the stipulation that they are simply rumors and not official news by 343. So anything that we see in spoiler territory, we'll talk about, we'll discuss, but we will assume that it's not official news. And that's our stance here at Podtacular. Now, I know some people don't even like to mention spoilers, like to keep clean. Some people don't care for it and want every piece of news that they can get. So we're kind of taking a neutral stance here at Podtacular where we'll mention it, we'll talk about it a little bit. If you don't want to hear about it, we'll tell you to skip ahead or not watch the video because I am putting a video up like tomorrow or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, keep it clean, right? Like the superintendent says, right?
Yep.
I mean, we have, in my opinion, we have an obligation as a Halo news-like podcast to keep you guys in the know of what's going on in the Halo universe. But in terms of spoilers, it gets really sticky, and I just wanted to lay that out there for you guys, so you guys know what our stance is on that.
Yeah, it's a tricky bit of territory anytime you're dealing with that sort of thing, because as a fan, I love checking out little bits of leaked news and things like that because I'm curious. I want to know about it. I want to see about it. The thing is, I think that everybody in the community needs to remember that any bit of leaked information that comes out is exactly that. Nothing's final. Nothing. You don't even know if it's real or not half the time. And even when it is real, you don't know how representative it is of the final thing. So everybody just needs to remember, leaks can be fun and they can be fine, but just take everything with a giant grain of salt, right?
Yeah, and you don't even know when and where these leaks came from, because granted, with some of the leaks most of the leaks that have come out, they've been shaky cam stuff, so they're pretty much genuine in terms of, yes, they were recorded of some Halo 4 thing in the past somewhere. But we don't know when it is, so it could be early alpha build where something got completely scrapped and we're not even going to see in the final game at all. Or something could be recent and it might be true down the road. And if it is, then good for us, good for 343 maybe. Depends on how that impacts them.
Yeah, good for us, man.
And their content. But until 343 says something official, we will treat all spoilers and leaks as very, very heavily, like Nevin said, with a grain of salt, as speculation. So we're not going to talk about any of this stuff tonight. We're going to talk about it on our show when we record either tomorrow or Friday and give you guys a chance to submit your stuff and submit your opinions on the leaks that have come out.
Yeah, do it if it feels good, man. Why not do it in the road, man?
That's right. All right. So Nevin Douglas, a.k.a. CruelLEGACEY, is the director and creator of a machinima series called Playtime that premieres on Halo Waypoint. He is also a Waypoint moderator and hosts the podcast, the Waypoint Modcast.
Yes, sir.
Did I miss anything else in there?
You forgot that I'm a snappy dresser, but other than that, you got everything.
And married to a really crazy wife.
Oh, yeah.
Met her at PAX, ladies and gentlemen, and
yeah, she's a handful.
She is more than a handful.
And I mean that in the best possible way. She is an absolute gem to put up with me, and because I'm even crazier than she is, just in a far more passive, annoying way. And so yeah,
sometimes how you put up with her. And I was only around her for 3 days.
No, she's it's very funny because she is I'm in a lot of ways a very kind of a grumpy old man at times, and she is definitely just like such a spark of energy. So we're a good balance for each other. It's good.
Got the best of both worlds there.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Maybe you can give Daft some dating advice.
He's
come on the show and ask sometimes.
That's the thing. I'm horrible at dating. I dated very, very rarely, and when I met my wife, it took us about 6 years to get together. So there was a lot of patience involved. So I'm not necessarily the best guy for dating advice. Married advice, I can handle, but
sometimes it takes a while.
Yep.
So, all right. So I had the special privilege of being able to premiere or preview, I guess would be the correct term, Playtime Season 3 before it got released to the general population. And CruelLEGACEY wanted to come on and discuss that a little bit. Probably my page or what was it, 2-page long?
Yeah, it was about 80,000 words, I think. But
it was a long document.
Yes. Which, I guess I'll to back up a little bit, I'll sort of fill everyone in on the process that we went through, because it's just a personal little sort of something I'm very, very passionate about spreading within the machinima community. Is there's a lot of people making really, really good machinima, but there's very few places to go about learning how to make machinima. And so, machinima is something that's very new for me as well. I mean, I've only been doing it really for about a year now. And so one thing I've tried really hard to do is every step of the way, I like to publicize sort of the process that I went through in making each new piece of machinima, so that hopefully others can learn from my process and improve on it and put their own spin on it and so on, because that way everybody wins and we all get to make better stuff. So back to Playtime Season 3, when I was sort of right in the middle of development, I was starting to get rough cuts together, and I was still filming bits and pieces and working on, adding some dialogue and music and all that stuff. And I thought, I really want to get some objective opinions on the series, because I live in such a bubble when I'm making it. I'm working 10, 12 hours a day on this machinima series, and I'm not doing anything else. I'm not talking to anyone else. I'm not watching anyone else. And so it's hard to stay objective about it. And so I thought, well, why don't I talk to some, I've met so many amazing people in the Halo community over the past couple of years, and some of them whose opinions and perspectives I really trust and value. And Duststorm here was one of those people, and I thought, okay, well, why don't I get them involved and get them sort of test screening this as I put it together, so that I can get their input. And so what I would do is every couple of days I'd send out an email with a link to a new scene. And sometimes a scene would be 2 minutes long, 3 minutes long, 1 minute long. So Dustin and the rest of the test screeners, I don't even remember how many were in the group. It was maybe 10 of us or so that were in that email thread.
Sounds about right. Not 10 or 12.
Yeah, so I'd send out these emails with a link to a private video, and I'd get everybody's feedback on them. And they were rough cuts. There was no music in them yet, but I was looking for a few things. I wanted to get people's opinions, and also when you're working on a project that big and you're so absorbed into it, I always have this creeping thought in the back of my head of, like, what if I've made some huge, gaping, painfully obvious mistake that everybody will notice, and I've somehow just missed it? So that was it's a little bit of just sort of double checking everything and making sure that you haven't missed something really important. But it was great. I mean, as we were joking about earlier, Dustin, you gave some just really detailed, really thorough feedback. You had far more critiques of the show than anybody else who was part of that screening process, and that's something I really appreciated. And yeah, you just gave really great feedback all around. So I was really grateful to have you on board for that, and I thought it was a fun process to go through.
Pages.
Yeah, pages.
I just found it. It was 4 pages.
Yeah. It was really cool, because it was interesting to me to see, when somebody does have a suggestion, sometimes they hone in on a little detail that never would have occurred to me in a million years. There was something, there was a line of dialogue very early in the season that you brought up, and you were saying, I really don't think you're using the right word here. I don't think it makes sense and it was a word that I'd sort of like just written in the first draft of the script and never thought twice about it. I mean, it was just, yeah, that's it, that fits, but then getting your perspective on it, I was like, oh, that's a good point. And it would never have occurred to me. It's also, I did find it funny how, I had things that I was like really concerned about, little imperfections that I was like, oh, this is driving me crazy, everybody's gonna hate it, and no one even noticed it. Right. So it's just a great way to get some perspective, and it's something that I think anybody who's making a sizable machinima project could really benefit from. So find a group of people who you trust and get them in early from the ground up. Even if you don't end up making changes right away, it's a great learning process for things to keep in mind for your next project, right? Because I think I made very few changes to the show in direct response to the critiques.
I didn't see any changes, to be honest.
There was some editing. There was some sequences that I trimmed down, and I think there was one bit of dialogue I re-recorded. But a lot of it was sort of stuff that even though I got you guys in fairly early, like by the time I got to that point, I'm so far along in production that do I want to refilm this entire scene because one person said they didn't like it? I mean, that's the other thing I'm looking at, right? Is I'm getting feedback from you, and I'm also getting feedback from these 9 or 10 other people. And so if one person has a problem with something, I sort of take that for what it is, and I say, okay, and I think about it, and do I want to change it or not? But if I had 8 or 9 people all pointing out the exact same thing, that would be a sign to me of, okay, this has to change, definitely, right?
Right.
And just by fluke, nothing like that came up, except for the most common complaint was around there was one action sequence that everybody said, hey, this is way too long. This has got to come down. There's too much filler, too much shots that just aren't really helping at all. So that I trimmed that scene down by about half. And I also I agreed with it when I heard it. Yeah.
I think I commented on it twice, actually.
Yep, I think so. and you were right. You were bang on, so. Well, I don't know if I've ever even asked you. I mean, have you ever sort of been a part of something like that before?
I've never done a machinima myself. I have had this idea that I've been rolling in my head around for like 2 years now. Mm-hmm. I just don't have any time to really sit down and develop the storyline behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, I had it back, the idea of during Halo 3, have it on Valhalla, have a story for how the crashed Pelican was there, and then Halo Reach came out, and I still have I have character profiles, but I don't have any storyline written out on paper anywhere. So I have ideas, and it's hard doing it, and maybe you can attest to this, because I know I definitely commented on this on your stuff, but it's hard to do a machinima by yourself, especially when you have a lot of different characters, and if you want to try to get some other people that you're friends with online to do it. And one of the key things about machinima, in my opinion, is being able to do the weapons down thing in the game.
Yeah.
And the only way you're able to do that online is if you do something like XBC or Xlink or Hamachi, where you can simulate that you're actually on a local network and get everyone like that. But then again, not everyone's technically savvy enough to get that to work, and don't want to bother with getting that working, getting their network properly configured in order for that to go from your Xbox to your computer and cross over this virtual network.
There's other things too, depending on how you go about filming your machinima. Like when I'm filming dialogue sequences, I already have all the dialogue recorded, and I'm playing it on my iPod. I'm wearing headphones and listening to the dialogue while I film it, so that I can time the head movements accordingly. And
right, but if you want multiple people to be moving at the same time, it doesn't exactly work out if you're doing it alone.
Well, that's how I do it though, right? Is I've got 4 controllers in front of me, and it's hard. It's really hard.
Well, it definitely stands out.
It's equally as hard to try and get like if I've got dialogue recorded already, and I've got someone else controlling another character, and they're across the country and we're just playing over the internet, and I like trying to sync it up so that both of us are hearing the dialogue at the same time and moving the heads at the right time, that's a whole other challenge, right? And it has its own advantages for sure. I mean, I wish I had 4 or 6 arms to just manipulate all the controllers, but there are certain advantages to just doing it all yourself, and it just depends on what's important to you at the end of the day, right? And to me, something I care more about it every time I do another season of Playtime is the head movement, getting it really locked in with the timing of the dialogue, and it's also like it's your, aside from the sound of the characters' voices, it's the only way you can really portray any hint of expression or feeling, because you can't see these people's their faces, right? But some other people who make machinima don't care about that at all, right? And there's, I think it was I could get this wrong and I'm going to get called out on it, but I think it was a recent episode of RB and the Chief where I was watching, where he didn't even move the heads at all. He just films the characters standing across from each other, and then the only way you can tell one of them is talking is because you hear their voice, and that's it. And for RB and the Chief, that works. I mean, that works for him and for that show. So everybody who makes machinima has different ideas of what's really important to them to carry across. And so,
but there are those few times where you need multiple people going, and it's just easier to have more people there to work the controls, and it's just yourself. And for me, I really don't have anyone in my immediate area that I can just say, hey, can you come over and do some machinima with me?
I think that's really the best way to do it. I'm right with you. I don't have anybody local to help out either, but I think that's really would give you the best of both worlds, right?
I mean, the voice recording you can definitely get from other people that you know online. That's as simple as doing something with Audacity and making sure that the people you are pulling in to do voices has a good microphone to do it. But there's a big part, and it comes to the acting of the characters in the game, and that's just, it's frustrating, I guess, to say the least.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it definitely, I mean, if you are doing it all yourself, it definitely limits what you can do. You have to sort of write around that fact, and you have to plan around the fact that, okay, if I have to make even 3 people walk at the same time, that's a big deal. So I can't have them do anything complicated, right? So yeah.
I mean, no offense to your machinima, but I definitely pointed this out for your thing, is that you could tell that there was very little control movement. And you did most of the voices, and that it was a very, for lack of a better word, slow-paced machinima.
Yep, definitely.
So, and for some machinima series, that's fine. The pace is slow, and that's how you go with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's very true.
I'm just like, I need that little bit of action in there. You have multiple things going on, and it's like, oh, this is really interesting. What's going to happen next? Where with yours, it's a little more predictable, a little more slowed down, and that was one of the reasons why the fighting scene was so long, is because people were just standing there.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can tell you were deliberately missing people just to make the shot longer and make it seem like people were actually doing something. When I think you made it too long, which kind of killed it.
Yep. No, I agree. And when you watch even the final cut, I'm still like, even when I watch it now, I look and I say, there's definitely a couple shots there that I could still have cut out. And that was an issue that I'm still not sure if I made the right choice or not. There was a plot concern in there as well, which is that I had these 2 factions fighting, and the part of the story is that, like, the next day they're okay with each other. They're not bitter enemies and bitter rivals. Like, they're able to sort of put their differences aside. And so from a plot point of view, I was like, well, it's gonna strain the believability if I show them gunning each other down, if I show a bunch of casualties on both sides, and then the very next day they're okay. So do I pull away from that and have the battle be a little more of a almost sort of a standoff type scenario, make it shorter, and then it's a little more believable that once they get the big bad guy out of the way, then they're able to sort of get along. And it was a challenge, and I don't think it would have been perfect either way. I think there's definitely a case there to be made for maybe it needed an extra episode or two to flesh out that end of the story. But I think another episode or two would have killed me. So.
Came out yesterday, right?
The final episode? Yeah, yesterday.
So, you had 10 episodes with this season. I think you had 10 episodes between season 1 and 2, right?
It was 8 episodes between season 1 and 2.
I think there were 6 in one of them.
No, they're both 4 episodes. And,
all right.
Yeah, if you add them both together and double it in length, it's still not quite as long as season 3. It was a lot of work.
So looking back on it all, and the final version, what would, and this might kind of be a little unprepared, but what would be the one thing you would have changed about the entire thing, given the feedback that you were given, and you just were like at the point, it's like, I really can't change this now. I wish I could have gone back and changed it.
There's my biggest regret is actually some stuff that I didn't do. There's a few extra little moments and sequences that I really wanted to film and add in, that basically involved, like, it wouldn't have added any extra time to this series, but there would be moments where two characters were having a bit of a conversation, and I wanted to film a sort of cutaway sequence that sort of is visualizing what they're talking about. And like there's a character named Wilbert. He's the high squeaky voiced elite, and there's a moment where he's in a cell beside Cobra, and he's telling Cobra how he escaped from the Ascendant Tower as it was being destroyed. I wanted to film that. I wanted to film him running out of the tower as there's explosions going all around and getting into a Banshee and flying off. But it was just time, and I just ran out of time, and I ran out of fuel, and Bungie Pro Rendering shut down. And so so I was like really, really just under the gun to get it all together. And so there were a few sequences like that. There was another moment when Cobra is explaining his plan to bring down the commander that involves, Warren building another cannon and launching him into the air. And I wanted to have like a sort of almost animated illustration with line drawing arrows showing him going through so little moments like that, which I didn't get to add in, which I think would have helped in terms of making it feel a little more dense, like there's a little more going on, because there are a few moments in the show where you're just watching characters stand there and talk to each other, and I like that when it's moments where there's something emotional going on, but when it's just plot exposition, it definitely feels slow. And so I sort of wish I had more visually going on there.
All right. For the massive 4-page thing I sent you, what was, I guess, pick out one or two things that was really kind of, like, did you have to point that out, or that doesn't sound right? Like one of those moments.
No, there was nothing that made me like go, oh, this guy's crazy. It was all, and now that doesn't mean I agreed with it all though, because there's definitely stuff where it's like that's totally cool, and that's a completely valid opinion. I happen to disagree with it, but there was nothing where I thought that where I like everything that you wrote down, I could see your point. I could see that it was a valid point or a valid criticism, and I mean, the one that I really, I think took to heart the strongest.
I'm a good critic.
You were a good critic. You were a very good critic. The one that I think you will see having the greatest effect on my work in the future is the point of voice actors. I completely agree with you that I think it's really important for me to get more voice actors involved. And
Yes.
I mean, I have fun doing the voice acting, and there's definitely like there's certain characters where I do the voice because I want to do that voice, but there's other characters where I do the voice because it's just easier for me to do it myself than find someone else and wait for them to send me the files and all that stuff, right? But next time around, I'm starting to get myself organized to begin work on season 4, and that's right at the top of my list. Is once I nail down a list of characters, is going out and finding people to do voices. Because I mean, my favorite scene in all of Playtime season 3 is the one where you meet the character Dwight at his dirt store. Because I think it's probably the single funniest segment of the whole season, but it's also like it's just great having you feel more interaction because it's myself doing 3 voices, but then my wife doing a voice and my brother doing another voice, and it's all of us interacting together, and it breathes a life into the whole thing that just isn't there when it's me doing all the voices. I can only fake so much diversity, right? So.
Right. Well, that seemed more. That was almost one of the more believable scenes throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I thought so too. It came together really well, and it was a total shock to me. My brother had never expressed any interest in doing any voices ever before, but he'd heard me do this dirt store joke before. It actually that whole joke came out of we were on a road trip out to my brother's girlfriend's cottage, and we drove past a dirt store. We drove past a store that just had these mounds of dirt in a lot, and that's what they sold.
So that was based on real life.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, yep, we got some dirt in our dirt store. We got some red dirt. There's brown dirt. Got some black dirt and some gray dirt. And everyone in the car was laughing so hard, I thought, okay, I got to use this. And then I gave my brother an early version of the script, and he just came to me and he's like, "Do you think I could try one of the voices?" And I'm so glad he did, because I thought he just nailed it. It was just hilarious. It was so much better than it would have been if I'd done it. So
it worked really well.
Yeah.
I will say, because I actually forgot about this, but I was in the machinima. Someone in Waypoint asked for a voice actor, so I posted, said I would be willing to do something, and I'm actually in a machinima called Zion UH.
Oh, you're in that? I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard good things about it.
It's done by Mean Screen Productions.
Oh yeah.
And it's 40 minutes long. It's the video quality isn't that great, but in terms of storyline, it's actually pretty well done. So it only has 645 views, which is kind of sad.
It's tough if you start digging around in YouTube, you'll find some really amazing stuff that people are putting together, and it's just. But that's the thing. There's so much of it, and like we were saying before we started recording, there's so many people, and I'm as guilty of this as anybody. Who I'll watch the occasional Red versus Blue. And, once every few months I'll watch Arby and the Chief, or I've just more recently started watching This Spartan Life, and it's fantastic. Like, it's so good. Mm-hmm. But that's it. It's anything other than that just gets lost into this sea of machinima. That's all, and you sort of look at it and you go, well, if this doesn't have 10 million views, I'm just not, I don't feel like it can't be that good, right? And it's too bad. It's a tough nut to crack.
The only place you could find stuff like that is HBO nowadays.
HBO does a fantastic job of
because they basically repost just about everything that they get. They do a really good job of supporting the community in that way. If you submit something to halo@bungie.org that's Halo related, most of the time it's going to get posted on the front page. There are rare cases, and I think Grimm said that he's only ever turned down one himself, of people not getting their stuff posted on the HBO.
Yeah,
and whether you see that as a good thing or a bad thing, for the most part, it's Halo community related, so if the Halo community is out there doing something, then they're going to post something about it.
It's a really fantastic way to, like you just said, to see everything that's going on in the community. But again, that does lead to the issue of time, right? Like there's only so many hours in the day, and if 3 or 4 new machinimas come out on one day, how many people are going to watch all of them? Right? It's tough. I mean, I was laughing at myself because it was just an absolute complete fluke. But my season finale came out at the exact same time as Red vs. Blue season 10 premiere. And I was like, well, there go my views, right? Like
But you had the homage to Red vs. Blue in the finale.
I did. And so anybody who happens to watch both would go, oh, that's cool. It's a funny little, that's fitting that they come out at the same time. But at the same time, it's like, well, you are to a certain degree fighting for the same audience. And I mean, there's plenty of that audience to go around to everybody, but it's just everybody's got very limited time, right? Time's getting to be a more and more precious commodity. At least I find for myself as I get older, and a lot of my friends tend to be in the same boat, right? Where it's just we don't get to watch and as much of this as we want, and we don't get to spend as much time looking at all the awesome stuff that the Halo community puts out as we want. So gotta be smarter about how you find it, right?
There's not a very centralized place for all this stuff too in terms of Halo Machinima either.
No, there really isn't.
You have Forge Hub, which does the Forge maps really well. You have the Halo Racetracks. It does Halo Racetracks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of some other groups that have websites. Griffball has their website.
It's strange that there is
Tyrant has the Tyrant or the Mythic difficulty stuff, but there's really no centralized place where people can submit their machinimas and have them featured.
It is a little bit strange that there's no machinima hub.
Yeah, you have machinima.com, but then again, not everyone submits to it.
Well, and I mean machinima.com, even if you do submit to it, I mean they're flat out they're not 100% closed doors, but they're pretty close, right? Like your chances of being accepted into machinima.com are almost non-existent, which is kind of funny in a way, that considering that what they do is machinima, but there's a lot of
word of mouth stuff that goes out there.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there's a lot of different Halo machinimas or series out there. It's just that a lot of them are so small because you can't really spread everyone so thin that they can't watch everything. Well, and because I haven't even seen Hell Jumpers.
Yeah, me neither have I yet. I mean, there's.
And I hear it's great. I just haven't had the time to watch it, and I even asked the director of it at PAX if he wanted to be on the show, and he said sure. And I haven't even watched the dang thing yet.
A big thing for me is it's sort of an odd thing, but I'm personally I'm becoming less and less of a fan of watching things in episodic chunks. Like I think I would much rather sit down and watch Red vs. Blue season 9 as a movie than watch a new episode every week for 20 weeks in a row. I just don't enjoy watching entertainment that way. I guess Netflix has spoiled me, right, to the point where if I'm into a show, I'd much
watch
rather
the whole thing.
Yeah, like I'd way rather.
It's funny because when I watch TV shows, I watch them in spurts. So I'll have a recording of a show.
Yeah.
And I won't watch it for like 4 weeks, 6 weeks or so. And then on the weekend, I'll just say, okay, I'm going to watch this show and get caught up. And I watch about 6 different episodes.
Yep.
And then it's like I get to the end of an episode, it's like, oh, dang it, I have to wait for another week to go by? Well, this sucks.
Oh,
Go watch another series.
It actually drastically changes whether or not you enjoy a show. Yeah, I mean, I was really hooked on Lost for the first few seasons, and I watched the first 2 seasons on. A buddy of mine had them on DVD, and so I'd go over to his house once a week, and we'd watch 6 or 8 episodes in one night, and so we'd binge on it, and then we got to the point where we'd we'd caught up to what was then airing on TV, and so then I had to wait week to week, and it was horrible. I thought the show sucked, and so I stopped watching it, and I just waited for it to come out on DVD, and I'd watch the whole 3rd season all at once, and I loved it again. It's like certain shows are just designed around being taken in those kind of binge sessions, and I think some machinima is like that. I think my machinima works better that way. Oddly enough,
Definitely.
I don't know if I've even sent you the link or not, but I have a cut of season 3 that is just a single continuous movie.
I believe you did.
Yeah, and I think it's way better. I think it works fairly well as an episodic thing, but I enjoy it way more when I sit down and watch it start to finish. So that's something I'll be releasing.
Think of it as the scenes that you sent it. I don't even think of it as episodes. I think of it as the scenes that you sent it when we were doing the pre-screening.
Yeah, it's got to be. You've got too many versions to keep straight in your head, right?
There's 16 or 17 screens.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
If you guys have any machinimas that you guys watch and would like to let us know about or have us check them out, feel free to send us a submission about it. Submissions@podtacular.com, and we will definitely take a look into it.
Some kind of machinima hub is actually not a bad idea.
I was thinking about doing something now. It's like start up a website.
Yeah, me too. I'm thinking the exact same thing.
Actually, I need to talk to you about another idea that I had after post.
Sounds good.
So we shall talk. But thank you for talking about that.
No, of course.
Thank you, sir.
It's really interesting to get a backstory behind how a director develops his ideas behind a.
Well, yeah,
a very good machinima like Playtime.
Well, thank you. I mean, that means a lot to me. But it's something like I said, I'm trying to make a concerted effort to get my perspective on this process out there, because my machinima is not particularly high profile, other than it's fairly big on Waypoint. But if you go into other avenues of the Halo community, I mean, some people might have heard of it, but that's about it. But I get, at least 5 to 10 messages or emails every single day from people saying, "Can you help me with my machinima?" Or "How do I do this? How do I do that?"
And there's actually quite a few posts on Waypoint as well about people looking for voice actors, looking for body actors.
But there's very little out there about the process of making machinima. There's the few people who put in the time and effort to figure it all out for themselves. But
it's out there. It's just hard to find.
Well, you get it in little bits. You get it in little bits and pieces. And something like I'm such a sucker for watching. If there's a movie I really like, I go onto the DVD and I watch all the special features because I want to see the whole process of how they made this movie.
Right.
Because there's more than one way to make a movie, and there's more than one way to make machinima. So I would love to see an extended behind the scenes cut of how does Rooster Teeth make Red versus Blue? Like, even if it's just how do they make an episode of Red versus Blue? And then I'd like to see.
At some point.
I believe they have, and I think they're one of the few who have. And then I'd like to see the same thing from Arby and the Chief. How does Arby and the Chief make an episode? How does all these?
What if you want to see
TJG's Digital Fear / John TJG's made he does like commentaries of Arby episodes sometimes, and he's done some behind the scenes stuff a couple times. You can look it up.
And I love that stuff, right? I think the more that stuff is out there, the more it's better for new young machinima makers to sort of get in and get caught up a little quicker, because not that they'll do things the same way that these other people do, but they can learn from the process, learn from the mistakes. They can look at it and go, oh, I see why they did it that way, but I'm going to do it this other way because it'll work better for what I'm doing, right? And so I think the more of the stuff, that kind of stuff that's out there, the better.
All right. Well, before we move on, any word on possible season 4?
That
you want to talk about?
if you'd asked me 3 months ago, I would have said no, season 3 was going to be the last season. And I've changed my mind. Because I stupid me had another idea that I want to make.
Right on, man.
All good directors do.
I have
They're always thinking about their next big score.
Well, see, the funny thing is, like, I have this other idea that I really want to make that's not a machinima at all. It's not Halo related. It's not a machinima. I've got a story. I very much sympathize with what you were talking about before. About like I have this story that I've been working on in the back of my brain for almost 15 years, and I've just never put it down. I've never figured out like should I write it out like a book or should I, how should I make this? And I'm starting to lean towards, you know what? I think it might actually make a pretty cool motion comic. And I think a motion comic is something that I could do. So I was going to start working on that, but Playtime, it snuck under my skin a little bit. And I guess my main goal for season 3 was to invest a little more in the characters, and to a certain extent, I guess that worked because I want to see more of them now. So, like, I'm kind of attached to them now. So,
need some more dirt.
Yep. But so I'm gonna do more. I doubt I would do another 10 episode season. I might not go back down to 4. I might split the difference. Because I think my main goal to continue forward would be to take what I learned about investing a little more in storytelling and investing a little more in character development and condense it to keep the pace faster, to keep it more up tempo. And I went back recently and was watching some of the earlier episodes of Playtime, like the first couple of episodes, and there was something about the there was a much higher laughs per minute ratio to those early episodes, that I'd like to get back to, but without sacrificing some of the other improvements I've made. So that's what I'm thinking right now. Yeah, knowing my development time, I should have something to announce come October. But
just
yeah,
in time before the Halo 4 release.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? If I don't get it out before Halo 4, no one would notice. So, yeah.
Very, very well done on Playtime overall.
Well, thanks for your help on it, man. I mean, I really, honestly, for you and all the other test viewers, I mean, I was very, very appreciative for the time and the energy you guys put in. It was great.
So let's get on to the Halo news.
News and news.
News.
That's my news song.
You want to do that again?
No, not without royalties.
Well, we already have the recording, and you've already consented to.
Damn it!
Recording the show, so.
Foiled again.
So, last week we got some interesting news about pre-order bonuses. Some of it, for the most part, it's great to see the variety of stuff that we're getting, but it's going to be interesting, like how we actually get it in game. But we actually have we have Spartan skins and weapon skins and the emblem icons. We have custom ones of those from each retailer that's doing pre-orders for the game. And there are lots of them, so we're going to run down a quick list and kind of talk about them as we go down. So the first one is from EB Games or GameStop. It's EB Games if you're in Canada, GameStop if you're in the US. And for the pre-orders there, and the pre-orders are for the normal edition or limited edition. So if you pre-order either one of those, you're going to get these bonus items with your pre-order. GameStop and EB Games, you get the Arctic weapon skin for your battle rifle. And I mentioned in the video that I did about this for Pod TV that this confirms that we have weapon skins for the AR and we have weapon skins for the BR.
Guarantee we're gonna have weapon skins for every weapon.
Which leads me to believe that we'll have weapon skins for at least every human weapon. I don't know about alien weapons or Covenant weapons, those kind of things. But
why not, right?
Well, I'm taking this with a grain of salt again because we only have the assault rifle and the battle rifle confirmed, but this is likely to lead that lead to all other human weapons at least having skins.
Yeah. Although I hope
So rifle.
I hope they make like some original skins that like vibe with the Halo universe. And, I mean, not just copy like Call of Duty, have the same exact themes we've seen in every game. Like, oh, this is Digital Winter. This is Autumn.
Well,
those
are standard in real life camo things. So you're going to see those used in games. Whether it's maybe Call of Duty was the first one to use.
This is like swamp camo. This is
But I mean, why wouldn't you use that in game? It's a standard military. It's a standard military skin that's used by militaries across the globe.
Yeah, have those. I'm not saying don't have those. Have those in, yes, but I mean, also like some extra like original like Halo
all right.
centric ones would be like nice. I hope they don't do like just the the run of the mill stuff.
Right, like let's see some Covenant camo weapons, like skin camo. That would be interesting.
I know it's really silly, but I'm kind of a fan of the silly, stupid, over the top skins that we saw in games like Gears of War 3.
Or some of these armor skins that we're about to go into.
Well, even these look, compared to the, in Gears of War 3, you could have something that was like bright neon pink and things like that. Because
you never know, we may actually have those in Halo 4.
Yeah, and like from my point of view, it's sort of like, I love when you get lots of little fine detail and stuff like that. Like, I think that's cool. That looks great. But when you're actually in a multiplayer game and you're looking at an enemy character or a teammate from 100 feet away, you're not going to see that stuff. What you're going to see is like the giant pink rocket launcher on their back, right?
Pink blob.
And there's a sense of humor to that I appreciate. And for the people who don't like it, then they don't have to use that skin, right? But there's something kind of funny about that I enjoy. So.
All right.
Hey, you and me both, man.
Yeah, man.
Is there any other kind of skins that
flames,
like the gun actually being on fire, like the flaming helmet kind of skin?
No, it's like
flame decals.
Think of Halo Wars, the Warthog flame decals, exactly.
Okay.
No, I think that would be awesome if they had the weapon actually on fire. That'd be great.
Oh, speaking of which, kind of on that note, I really hope they bring back the flamethrower for Halo 4.
That would be interesting.
Oh, that was awesome.
That would be cool.
I do miss it. And it's great for machinima, right? Like on fire, right?
Yes, it is.
It was so useless 99% of the time, and then every now and then you just get a Killtrocity with it, and you were so glad it was in the game.
Yeah. Well, like the only map it was on in Halo 3 was Construct.
Yeah.
And so you just wait for people to come up the lift and set them on fire, and there you go.
It was used in Halo 1 a lot.
That's right.
Well, wasn't that just PC version, right?
I guess that's right. Yeah, it was just PC.
Yeah.
Sorry, I played Halo 1 on the PC when I first got Halo. So my Halo experience is a little tainted.
Yeah, as far as the mainstream, it's known mostly for its Halo 3 appearance.
It wasn't in Halo 2, was it?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Alright. So I guess it made its Xbox debut on Halo 3.
Yes.
So surprise, surprise, the consoles were 5 years behind the PC.
In some respects, yes.
Trollolo.
Flamethrower is in Reach, right?
No, it's not. No.
As a weapon to do custom games.
No.
Nope.
It's not?
Nope.
Which is really disappointing.
You hear that, 343?
Take a hint.
We want our flamethrower back. We want to be able to set stuff on fire. We want to be the pyromaniacs.
Yeah. I would say I'd want the Forerunner Sentinel beam back, like how it was in Halo 3, but considering Halo 4's whole Forerunner vibe, we're probably going to get like a billion kinds of weapons, like similar in theme to the Sentinel beam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that.
That'd be cool. Next on the list of EB Games and GameStop pre-order bonuses is the Forest Armor skin for the Hazop armor. From what I've seen so far around the internet, all the armor things are independent of like getting them unlocked in the pre-order. It's just the skin itself. All the armor, I guess, is either going to be available to you in game, or it's the stuff that you unlock with experience or credits like you do in Reach. Something along those lines, I'm thinking.
That's my understanding as well.
These are just the skins, and another clarification point, by skins we mean the pattern that is put on the armor. The colors are just what they're using to show off what the skin's going to look like. The colors are customizable.
Oh, so the skin will inherit the color traits of whatever you set
Correct.
your armor color to.
Correct.
That's cool.
Yeah, the skins, those are probably going to be the default colors for the skin, but you can change them in game.
Right.
So just a little clarification on that as well. And you can find these across the internet, and we're going to put a post up on Podtacular too. And I'll probably be doing that tonight actually, about all the available skins that we have. And they've even come out with more. There was one that came out today as well. So
Oh yeah.
they're still coming out with pre-order bonuses.
Is anyone else getting Mass Effect 3 flashbacks?
I didn't pre-order.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I need to buy that game eventually after I played Mass Effect 1 and 2, which I also have not yet bought.
I just had someone convince me to get Mass Effect, and I actually got it on Sunday. So
Oh,
I'm
man.
playing that.
You're into a whole new world there. But the point I was making though is that Mass Effect 3 was the most over the top pre-order bonus campaign I've ever seen. Like, if you bought the Mass Effect Slurpee, you got a custom weapon for multiplayer. If you got, they had codes in every bit of merchandise you could possibly imagine. And some people really, really get into that stuff. Some people, like, there was definitely some, I think, somewhat justified complaints about hey guys, this might be a little over the top, because there's always people like poor Grim Brother 1, devoted completionist that he is, needs to have it all, right? So,
that's something that I'm going to mention here in a little bit after we go through all these.
Sure.
But yeah, I know what you mean there, because
Yeah.
I'm that way at least towards achievements.
Yeah.
Not necessarily all the in-game bonus stuff, but definitely achievements. Damn you, inventor of achievements! I don't know what it is about achievements, but they're just so addicting.
It's the bloop bloop.
Duduk.
That's what it is. It's like the little sound in Diablo when you pick up a piece of loot. That little, it's like crack.
All right, I haven't played Diablo, so.
Neither have I, but I still I know the sound.
I played Diablo 3. It's really good, by the way.
Next down the line is Play.com, and you get the Deadeye helmet skin. Now, this is a helmet-only skin, which means you're going to be able to mix and match skins? Maybe.
Sounds like it.
Like you have different armor pieces in Reach, maybe you can have different skins that you can apply to different helmet types.
I find this to be a fairly interesting approach, actually, since that I can't remember. Has it been confirmed that Halo 4 has armor sets rather than individual pieces?
I don't think it's specifically been said.
Armor sets, that'd be obnoxious.
Well,
but
I thought it was confirmed on, was it the Game Informer podcast? Where they had someone from 343. I could be completely sprouting false information here.
Well, nobody
Game
wants to
Informer
say,
had.
let us
Sorry,
mix and match.
Right.
If we had this if we could only switch around the sets, we couldn't mix and match each little piece. That'd be horrible.
I think it's been announced that that's how they're doing it. But it sounds
ridiculous.
like what they're letting you do though is
free.
Yeah,
Well,
but it sounds like they're letting you mix and match.
No, there was none of that in Halo 3. What are you talking about? No.
It sounds like they're letting you mix and match the skins though, which might make it really a bigger visual difference.
No, that still seems odd to me. When you say skin, I just think of just the paint job.
Yeah,
as opposed to the actual armor, which is the actual. No, we want the paint job. We want actual the structure, the physical structure of it to be mixed and matched.
So you're saying that it is confirmed that these are armor sets and not armor pieces?
I haven't heard it myself, but we were recording We were recording an episode of the Modcast a few weeks ago, and while we were recording,
I've listened to it yet.
It came up online that it had just been stated in one of, I think it was the Game Informer podcast, that yes, Halo 4 was using armor sets. I should double check this.
Because I haven't heard anything specific about that yet. Maybe that is the case. I thought with how the credit system in Reach did so well that they were probably going to bring back the same thing for Halo 4.
You know, it's funny when I hear helmet skins. For some reason, I think of a helmet that has a bunch of like bumper stickers like slapped all over it, even on the visor, thus like hindering like your survivability. Like you can't even see anything. It's bumper stickers all over your visor.
Yeah, and some of these helmets look really weird. Like I don't know if I would want any of these helmets in game, to be honest.
I don't want to pass judgment too much until we actually get to play it, but I'm not a particularly big fan of most of the armor that we've seen so far.
I'm not either.
Yeah. I mean, with Reach, there was so much armor in Reach that I only liked about half of it, so I'm not worried about it. I'm not concerned. But so far we haven't.
Stuff was in there was pretty standard in terms of visors and stuff. Here you have one visor that looks like a bird. You have one that's 3 dots like Splinter Cell. You have one that's just like a triangle of some kind. You have another one that's these 2 thin slits.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Well, I remember in the first Halo 4 gameplay trailer, in the multiplayer, the Spartans were all like wearing the same helmet. Like it looked like I thought it looked a lot like the helmet from Fallout, like the power armor helmet. Kinda
right, but the visor on that is a little more standard.
It's like slits, right?
It's your wide lens full piece visor. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not these funky designs that we're seeing in these pre-order bonuses.
Where are we looking at this? Halo Council. Oh.
Yeah.
Halo Council.
Halo Council just has them nice and bundled up. They're scattered all over the internet. But some of these, the skins are weird too. But I'll go to the next one because the next one's actually pretty cool. If you pre-order from Amazon, you get the web skin for the CIO armor. And the web skin is actually a spider insignia for the most part on your armor. So you have what looks like spider legs on the front. The little chest piece in the middle is kind of like the body of a spider. And that one, I think, is one of the better armor skins in this set. Because the forest armor is basically just regular camo. I think the web armor skin is actually pretty cool in terms of the custom ones. So that's from Amazon. You also get 2 custom emblems. You get the bulletproof emblem, which is the 3 sniper bullets lined up in a row, and I think that's in Halo Reach as well. And you get the Spartan helmet emblem as well. So this kind of makes me question, are all of the emblems not going to be available on launch like they have been in the past Halo games?
Sounds like it.
Because I know the Spartan helmet, for most people, at least in Podtacular, what they've done in the past is they've used that Spartan helmet to signify that they're part of the Podtacular clan. Because that's our little icon for the show is the helmet, except with a little iPod earphone in it.
Right.
So we're gonna see more unlockable items in game.
Probably.
Not just like these, and are we going to see more skins?
Yeah, so look, the bottom line here is that this game needs to have absolutely oodles and noodles of content. As far as like,
I just don't want this to necessarily turn like
Hello?
Team Fortress 2.
Wait, you cut out. You want it to turn into what?
Something like Team Fortress 2.
No, okay, but this Halo 4 needs to be huge. Like it needs to have like mounds of content. Like take the amount of content that Reach had as far as like armor customization, multiply it by like 30, by 300. I mean it's like an insane amount of content. You know what I'm saying? There's tons of options. That's what it needs to have.
Right, but it needs to be done correctly.
But I trust them more or less.
For the most part, I guess. It's just we're seeing some of this stuff now that was available to us in game already. not being available, or now we're having to unlock. So these emblems we're now unlocking. The armor sets is basically a downgrade from what we have in Reach, and it'll be interesting to see how people react to that.
It's like you actually had to take some budget cuts, down the road. Right?
It honestly, it depends on how it's implemented, because
So what, the Spartan 3s had more customization resources than the Spartan 4s?
well, what I mean is from the point of view of when you're in game, how much of it actually matters. Like I thought the armor customization in Reach was fantastic, but I thought that like 80% of it didn't really make a difference when you're playing. I think it made a bigger difference for things like machinima, where you had a camera up close on a character. But in actual gameplay, you don't see which knee pads the guy has or what was on his wrist.
No, but it's not necessarily about that. It's about
it's all about narcissism. Come on.
I know. Yeah, it is about like wanting to look like a badass.
If you were to think that you were a Spartan in this time frame, you would. And I know this is a video game, but if you were, you would want to customize your armor to maximize efficiency at whatever your specialty is. You change your helmet, change your knee pads, your shoulder pads, or whatever to reflect what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just kind of part of it. Is having that ability to customize the armor in the way that you feel your Spartan represents you or your gameplay, or what your skills are excelled at in the game.
Well, I could still be completely wrong on that idea of the armor set. So I'm still trying to find some kind of link to back up my vague memory here. So don't nobody get too upset yet.
That's what we call the speculation on the show, folks.
Exactly.
All right, Best Buy, we get the Raptor skin for the Venator armor. Venator?
Oh, wow.
Venator?
Oh, I'm a dinosaur. Look at me. Wow.
Looks like a wasp.
A wasp.
Then like a dinosaur, in my opinion. Right? Because it has the blue.
Wasps aren't blue. It'd be a wasp if it was yellow and black. You know?
Well, it reminds me of a Yellow Jacket.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason.
Ferris Bueller, you're my hero.
So that's at Best Buy. The Microsoft Store has the Pulse armor skin for the Gungnir.
Yes, Gungnir. Gungnir
armor. Not Mjolnir, but Gungnir.
Yep.
And that's basically a target on the armor, is what it looks like. Am I seeing that right? Looks just like a big target painted on them.
Yeah, like, come shoot me, right?
I mean, I guess it's supposed to be like a pulse wave, but it looks more like a target. It's like, here's my heart, shoot me right here. So
exactly.
That's the Microsoft Store. For Mighty Ape, which I've never heard of them, but apparently they're a New Zealand company, so I'm guessing that's Australia.
Yeah, is this like some international website you got?
I don't know. It's called mightyape.co.nz.
It's like the EB Games thing on it. There's like a Canadian like maple leaf next to the EB Games name.
Right. There's no.
Seems like a very international website.
I would assume it is. But they have the most in terms of pre-order bonuses. They have the Raptor skin for the Venator armor. And even though the image says Mighty Ape exclusive, it's also at Best Buy as well. So I'm guessing it's exclusive to where they sell, which is outside the US, I'm guessing. They also have the Pulse armor. So, I guess what it is this is covering all the places that Microsoft and Best Buy don't cover. Because I'm guessing there's not a Best Buy in that region, and Microsoft doesn't sell in that region either. So it's probably exclusive to that region for that store. Would be my guess. Does that sound right to you guys?
Sounds right to me.
All right.
I think.
You think? Great. Thanks for the backup on that. Mighty Ape also has the Locust helmet. This is a helmet, not a skin, from what I can tell. Or no, sorry, it is the helmet skin. I take that. Reading the fine print on the zoomed up image, it does say helmet skin. It's Locust helmet skin. There is the assassin emblem, which is 2 knives with blood dripping from them. And then there is the bone breaker emblem, which I don't think we've seen that in any of the Halo games. And probably not assassin either. I know we've seen the bulletproof and the Spartan emblem in past Halo games, but I don't think we've seen this assassin and bone breaker one.
I don't remember seeing them.
So those are 2 new emblems that we'll see in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see what other emblems come out as well.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, the one that came out, I believe, yesterday? Yes, yesterday. Is from, and this is a European website. This is game.co.uk. And they have the Oceanic Armor Circuit skin, which I'm not exactly sure what that looks like in terms of design. It's very mechanical looking, but I'm not sure what you would call that.
The Oceanic one?
Yeah, the Oceanic Armor Circuit. Like, I guess it's a circuit of some kind, but it doesn't look like anything specific. All these skins for the armors are weird anyways. Except for like the camo one, because that's just basic.
Yeah, they're just cool, line designs, most of them, right?
I guess I don't think I'll be using many of them.
Yeah, I
guess it will help it when we get our hands on them and see them in full detail, what they look like. But for the most part, I'll probably use the forest camo one, but that's about it. Just like how I normally only use Sprint in Halo Reach.
Right.
Because everyone else uses Sprint for the most part.
Yeah, well, we do know it is. 343 has come out and said that they can look at the statistics and they said that Sprint is like by far and away the absolute most commonly used armor ability. So.
Well, it makes the most sense because you're a Spartan, you should be able to sprint crazy. And it's about time they put that in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you can already move super fast and superhumanly at superhuman speeds, but it's if you're not trying to aim at someone, you should be able to move a little bit faster because you're not concentrating on a target.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense at this point.
Yeah.
We also get the battle rifle skin, as mentioned for the GameStop and EB Games one. It's the winter camo for the battle rifle. So are Game and EB Games and GameStop related? I think they might be.
Yes.
All right.
I could be getting this backwards, but I'm pretty sure that GameStop owns EB Games.
No, I know GameStop owns EB Games. What about game.co.uk and GameStop?
Don't know.
Are they affiliates?
Could be.
Well, looking at their legal stuff, it doesn't look like they actually are. So, All right. It just seems like they would be.
Right.
But I guess I'm speculating on that. And we don't want too much speculation on the show.
Too late for that.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Oh,
we'll dig all into the nice, juicy speculation.
I think that was my fault as much as anything. Oops.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. But those are all the pre-order bonuses that we have so far. Now, I'm guessing there will be more because those are the only retailers that are selling them. And I'm actually a little surprised that they came out this early with pre-order bonuses. I thought it was going to be at least another month or two before we actually saw something in terms of pre-order bonuses.
Well, it's if I had to guess, I'd say it's because they want to start doing those pre-orders now. So, and this is part of why there's so much speculation around all this stuff this is something that I've spoken about with some of the other people on the Modcast as well is the whole idea of there's so many different moving parts leading up to a game's launch. And you might have one part of the team that's like, oh, we'll wait till this time, and then we'll announce this feature and explain it with proper context so everybody knows what's going on. And then there's another department in another building going, oh, but we need to announce this detail now because it's part of our pre-order bonuses, and we want to start selling the game. And so you get all these little bits of vague information coming out, like there's a few things included with the Halo 4 limited edition that people are like, what is that? And 343 is like, we'll explain it soon, but we have to tell you it's in there because we're announcing this limited edition. So you don't always get all the information in the ideal order or in the ideal format. Sometimes,
which is fair.
Yeah, it just happens, and so we just have to roll with it to a certain degree and sort of just know that we'll have the whole picture a little later.
Right. So I want to loop back around to something you mentioned a little bit earlier, and that for everyone that's a completionist and wants everything,
good luck.
Well, are these going to be unlockable? In terms of you can play through the game and you can actually unlock these skins later.
Yeah.
That's a big question. Because for everyone that wants to go and get every skin, you have to basically be in 3 different countries at once in order to get everything. Because Australia has their own little custom things, Europe has their own little custom things, the US has their own little custom things. And I just listed off, 7 retailers that have their own pre-order specials?
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to be able to get everything.
No.
Unless you're able to unlock them in the game somehow.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like I mentioned, that was the Mass Effect 3 syndrome. Where there's just so many little bits and pieces of content all over the place that it does make completionists stress out a little bit, because it's like,
I honestly don't know if people are going to be. Well, I'm sure a lot of people will kind of complain about it. It's like, oh well, these persons are getting their special things, and I want everything.
Yep.
So just deal with it.
Have your cake and eat it too, man.
But it is what it is for the most part, and it does leave a big decision on where you're going to end up buying your game, and you're having to make a decision, which thing do you want the most? So choose wisely, people, is what I'm trying to get across.
I think most people are going to go with GameStop, because that's what they go with anyway.
There's the funny side effect that I've noticed that this has is that for some people, like for me, there's no question that I'm going to pre-order Halo 4. But
or pre-order the limited edition.
Yeah, I mean, right? There was no question there for me either. I mean, I just knew I was going to get it. Mm-hmm. But it starts to then make me go, oh, but where am I going to pre-order it? And it's affecting your purchasing decision, not based on which store you like the best or which store you like supporting, but based on what other free stuff do you get with it. And I mean, I've pre-ordered a couple of games from GameStop. Where as opposed to I've got a local store here in Toronto that I really love going to, and I try to support them with everything I do, every game I buy, because I like going there so much. And a couple of times I've caught myself going to another store instead, just for a little bit of bonus DLC for pre-ordering, and it's that's got to make it tough for some of the smaller stores that don't have the buying weight of a company like GameStop or EB Games, who can get all these exclusive bonuses, mm-hmm. which of course is exactly the point for them, right?
Yeah. So we'll have to see what else comes out in the near future.
Yeah.
Because who knows what other retailers are going to release stuff now. And if more comes out, we will let you guys know. But that wraps up the pre-order bonuses that are currently available to the public. Last thing we want to touch base on before we wrap up the show is the bulletin that came out last week. Now, I put up a little quick video about it, since I was in New York and I didn't have anything to record actual Xbox gameplay with, so I threw up a little video, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about it on the show as well, since we definitely have a lot more show listeners than we do video viewers. Just had the chance to go to Canada on the set of the Forward Unto Dawn live action series that's going to be premiering in October. And from the sounds of it, it's really, really lifelike, people. It's going to be one of those things where you probably think, okay, where's the Halo movie that's going to come after this thing?
We've been waiting for that for a long time.
From what she's making it sound like, this may be the Halo movie we've been looking for. Now, it's not explicitly a Halo movie, but the fact that we're going to get a 75-minute in total live action series, it's almost the length of a movie at that point.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I am stoked.
Yeah. Well, I've loved every bit of live action from Halo. It's been in marketing campaigns, but every little bit of live action Halo we've seen so far, I thought was really, really cool. So I'm always up for more. Yeah,
this is going to be interesting because we've seen at least the live action stuff that Bungie has done for Halo 3, ODST, and Reach. And those were good. Those were nice little 2 or 3 minute action sequences. But in terms of putting those into a movie, they really didn't contain enough substance to, I guess, really do anything about, or they didn't want to. And I guess now, since 343 has the direct backing of Microsoft in terms of funding, this will either be a nice science experiment to I guess, see the possibilities of doing a live action Halo type thing or a movie. And maybe if it's successful, we might see a Halo movie come out in the future. I mean, what would you guys think about seeing something that's a follow-up to this live action thing that we're seeing?
I'm all for it if it's done right, which I know is a big if, but but it's,
this is essentially 343's first game that they're making.
Yep.
So it's going to be a real test of dedication to the fans and making sure they're holding true to what the majority of the fans think and feel Halo is. And for the most part, I think that they're going to nail it in the head from a million miles away. Because you have a lot of people who were fans of the series before that are now working on the team. You have some people from Bungie who are working on the original Halo series that are over there as well. So you have a nice mix of people that originally enjoyed working on the game to people that loved the game for what it is originally and now are working on the storyline behind the game and the experience that you're going to get with Halo 4. So I think we are in possibly the best hands that we can have for the future of Halo 4 coming down the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I think at the end of the day it comes down to just the ability to execute, right? And like I have absolute faith in the team at 343 in terms of their ability to come up with a design for a good Halo game. Because for all the reasons that you just explained, like any game, there's the design phase and then there's the polish phase. And I've always really appreciated, from a gameplay point of view, just how polished the Halo franchise has always been. And that's a part that, even there have definitely been bugs and glitches and issues with the various Halo games over the years, but overall, like taken as a whole, they are so tight and playable and just well refined, like the subtleties and the nuances of all the weapons, of the movement, of the vehicles, and that rock paper scissors balance.
Right.
Everything that we've seen from Halo 4 tells me that they are going for that same balance. But you hear lots of developers talk about how they're going for that balance, and then you play the game and it just isn't there. Even Bungie themselves, some would argue, missed the mark in certain cases, right? Like there's some people who say, multiplayer in Halo 2 and 3 was mostly a one-weapon game, and that's not what Bungie really intended based on what they said leading up to those games. But
an armor lock, they said that was rebalanced. Not so much. They wanted to balance armor lock. How they should have done it. This won't be a long tangent. It's just a quick comment. How they should have done it was, they said they wanted it to be something to save you from that ghost coming at you or that rocket about to hit you, whatever. So if you truly want it to be that, make it only last like literally 1 or 2 seconds. So it would be something that would take some skill with the timing. You would need to know right when to pop into it, perfect timing to survive that splatter or that rocket in that like 1 second time frame, and then come right back out of it vulnerable again. Then it would be balanced. Then it would be okay, but it's not like that.
Right. Oh, look what just got released, the new bulletin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good timing.
Oh, boy. Do we want to read through it and talk about it real quick?
It looks like it's, just looking at the picture here, it's all the stuff we were just talking about.
Really?
Well, the picture is a whole bunch of different armor skins.
All right, well, let's, I guess we'll finish this bulletin first and then look at the bulletin that she just posted. Maybe she has a finalized list. That'd be nice. That'd be really, really nice. So, the Halo 4 railgun is next on the docket for the bulletin. And for the most part, what we talked about on show 287, which is still our most downloaded show ever, we were pretty close on that. It's going to have a charge time just like you see the Big Mac gun from the end of Halo Reach. It's deadly accurate and punches a lot of firepower into it, but if I remember right, it does not have zoom functionality, so you can't scope with it. If you hit someone directly with it, it's not an insta-kill, but it definitely pushes people around, and it has a similar effect on vehicles as the brute shot or the concussion rifle. So you can shoot vehicles a few times and you'll send them flying across the map.
I actually think, yeah, but when I'm reading that description, I think mentioning I think it is sort of it's going to fill a very similar role to the brute shot and or the concussion rifle. It sounds to me like it's not going to have an arc to it the way the brute shot did. And it's also going to have a much faster travel time from the sound like it's going to be instantaneous or near instantaneous, right? Like you would expect, like almost like an underpowered Gauss cannon, right?
Uh-huh.
Sort of what I'm picturing. But
oh, this is cool. In the bulletin, there's also the June matchmaking playlist update, which is going to update Invasion. It's going to have 4 Forge maps: Refinery, Overgrowth, Broadcast, and Floodgate.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks like they're all in Forge World, especially main Invasion maps.
Mm-hmm.
They actually they have a trailer put together by the Halo Wheelman, and
that should be interesting to watch.
Yeah, the trailer is on the bulletin. It looks like they're really trying to reinvigorate Invasion all of a sudden, which is interesting. Get some interest back in that with some new maps and stuff. That's cool.
Fine by me. I love the Invasion game type, so
yeah, Invasion doesn't get played that much.
Yeah.
2 other game types that don't get played that much that were played a lot in the beta are Headhunter and Stockpile.
I haven't seen Headhunter.
Nobody likes Stockpile.
Stockpile is fun in my opinion. I don't like Headhunter. Like I was fine with Headhunter in the beta, but I don't like Headhunter in the final version.
Well, Headhunter is just hectic. You gotta get to the pile.
You can't hold on to those scopes.
Exactly, because you get killed by.
And it's
everyone.
like you just have to be the lucky one that happens to be near a bunch of skulls that drop, or you're right by a group of people that finish a firefight and there's no one else around you. You pick up all those skulls and they're like, oh, there's a capture point right there, and you score it.
Yeah.
That's literally.
It's very hectic. It's very fast paced. But the Stockpile is just tedious. As I've said before, it's like, oh, we got to go get these flags. Now we got to walk back and put it.
It's not that hard if you have a system and if you have a plan to go get them.
I know. It's just now we got to take them back, put them in this thing. Now the timer has to count down. Oh, look, one of their guys just took it out, and the timer expired. Oh, no point for us now. Like
the thing, I really like Stockpile as a well organized team game. It's just not a game that it's a game type that really suffers when you go in with randoms who aren't communicating, and
Absolutely.
you really just don't get a good experience with it. It just becomes a bunch of just random grabbing, just like you said. But if you get a team that's coordinating and talking, it can be a blast. It's just that's rare, unless you happen to have buddies that you play with on a regular basis.
Right. Living Dead is also having an update for a new game type called Zombie Ghost, which is supposed to be a modification on Alpha Zombies. So that's going to be... I don't play in Living Dead that much either. I go in every once in a while, but I don't play it that much.
I go out of my way to avoid it. Just not my thing. Not a big fan of it myself.
I wonder what the statistics on those game types are. Like, I know for Stockpile and Hunt-Hunter, they don't show up that much. But at least for Living Dead...
Well, there's always a lot of people in the playlist every time I look at it.
Really?
A lot, as in way more than I would expect. But
like on what? Like terms of thousands or 10,000s?
Varying between 5 and 10 and 15,000 anytime I happen to look at it.
All right.
Wait, talking about Living Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of the most. That's always been one of the most popular playlists on Reach. Definitely.
It really is. I think it's almost like they've got their own little mini version of the Griffball community there, where there's people who go in and spend every single day, all day playing Infection, and that's all they do. That's their version of Halo.
I mean, it's
which
just
is awesome.
Fun. You know, you got your shotgun, your pistol. The zombies have no shield. Like it's just very accessible. Like so easy to get into it very fast.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's go back to the other bulletin real quick. The railgun.
Right.
So there's a charge up time. It's about half of what the Spartan laser is. So about 1.5 seconds is going to be the charge time. And I don't think they specified whether the charge time was like you have to just after the weapon's done it has to charge up, or when you pull and hold the trigger that's the charge time.
Oh, you mean charge up versus cooldown time?
Yeah, except the cooldown is actually a charge up and then it's charged up and ready to fire.
So it's an instant. That's a good point, actually. It could definitely work either way.
Because you either have it like the Gauss Hog or the Gauss cannon on the Hog, where it's like it's an instant fire, but you have to wait for it to charge back up, or it's going to be like the Mass Driver in Halo Reach, where you have to charge it up and then it fires. I think most people are leaning to the latter, but I don't know if they've specifically said which one it's going to be.
It could be a combination of both. I mean, if you really look at how the Spartan laser works, like once it's fired, there is a brief cooldown period, and then you can start charging it and fire it again. Right. So it could be something similar to that.
But it doesn't stay charged. Where for the Mac cannon stuff, it's like you can charge it up,
and then it's ready to go.
Yeah, if you read the books, all the mass drivers on all of the ships, they're charged and ready to go. It's just they have to recharge.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's one gun that I'm really looking forward to seeing in action. You know, I really can't wait to get my hands on that one.
Yeah. So they've also compared the speed of the shot to almost instantaneous.
Right.
Now I guess this would be comparable to if you're shooting like your AR across the map or something. Like it's not going to be instantaneous like a sniper rifle, but it's going to be quick enough to where, oh, that went by really fast.
Yeah, I still keep going back in my head to the Gauss cannon. You know, like as far as just like the
like if you go back to like Sand Trap on Halo 3, think about shooting the Gauss cannon across the map. I think that's probably about as how fast it's going to be.
That would be my guess. Yeah.
Just in a handheld compact version.
Yeah.
So that's that. There's the Office of Halo Intelligence has another thing in the bulletin again, and that's just saying that they have some exciting stuff leading up to E3, which apparently, according to, hang on, I have the article open somewhere, but the guy from Spike TV, Jeff Keighley, he officially announced that they are showing campaign stuff about Halo 4 at the Xbox press conference. So we will see campaign stuff.
Which is really good news. I personally didn't find it surprising at all. I thought it was a pretty safe bet that we would. But
I think what we're probably going to see is the 10 minutes of the campaign stuff that the people at the special New York VIP event saw.
Right. That would make sense.
I think that's probably going to be stuff that we're going to see.
Yep, could be.
Granted, I don't think anyone really ever explained or really went into detail what it was, but it was basically the first thing was an homage back to Halo 1 and Halo 2 where you're being boarded by Covenant and you're fighting through the Fort into Dawn.
It's basically the sequence that they detail in the Game Informer article, right?
Did they have a Game Informer article on it? Maybe they did.
Yeah, the big cover story back in was it, April or whenever, where they detailed the early portion of the campaign, and and it was exactly what you described.
All right.
I don't think it'll show that. I think that's that first mission. It's got enough hype and enough discussion. Everyone's kind of had their fill of that. My prediction is that at the press conference, they'll do a demo of one of the later campaign missions that takes place on Requiem, the Shield world, like inside of it. Mm-hmm. The organic environments, the hills. I think probably like Warthog driving through like hills and stuff from like those the concept art we've seen. Just something on Requiem just to show off the graphics, as opposed to just like gray corridors in a ship, which have been talked about for months now.
Yeah.
My big hope is that we get to see the new enemy that they're fighting. Because that's
I think they're going to tease it. I don't think they're going to show us directly.
I think that's possible. I think that'd be. I mean, for E3 or something as big as that'd be a good treat. I think.
I honestly don't think they're going to show us directly. I think it's going to be a big tease.
Because I think
we'll see some ominous structure. Or something.
What I'm worried about is like if they just show fighting more Covenant. Like, I mean, that's enough to get me excited because I'm a huge Halo fan and I love fighting Covenant. But to the general gaming public, they might see that and go, yeah, another Halo game.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah. Whereas if they see something, because we got to remember, like for the people who aren't the super fans, this could be the one and only glimpse they get of Halo 4.
Make or break.
Before the real like pre-launch hype hits. And so this is the one chance to get those pre-orders in there and get people hyped and excited for it. And I think they've got to show something new. Now I don't think they're going to show all the new enemies. I don't think they need to blow all their surprises. But I think this is one of those times where if they have to choose between keeping their secrets versus showing people a little bit about like what is this game actually going to be like, and fighting these new enemies is going to be, from a gameplay point of view, that is the pillar that the whole game is standing on, right? Is
right.
What do these new enemies look like? How do they move? What do they sound like? What are their weapons like? If we don't see something of that, I'd be very surprised. I think we really need to see something about that at E3.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that if they really want to make a splash, what they should show is a mission that takes place on Requiem, show some vehicles, at least a Warthog, if not something else. Just show off the natural environments of the Shield world, and then show them actually fighting some of the new enemies.
Oh, there's I've got $1 million bet there. I bet we'll see a new vehicle too.
Yeah,
I'll put $1 million.
Huh? We haven't had many. It's like, come to think of it, there haven't been many details on the vehicles right up to this point.
Yeah, well, we saw the Hog, but the Hog.
Yeah, but other than that, it's like I think vehicles at E3 would make a lot of sense at this point.
We're gonna see the Hog. We're gonna see the Ghost. We're gonna see the Tank. We're gonna see the Wraith. Those are the 4 core Halo vehicles.
Mongoose?
Maybe. Or an alternative. The Mongoose is something I wouldn't be surprised if they swapped it out for something else that's new but does the same thing.
Yeah.
But
maybe something a little more armored.
Maybe.
A little faster.
Or faster, yeah.
Or I'd love to see a Ghost version of the Mongoose. Where someone else sits on the back and gets to use their gun.
Well, no, the Ghost is supposed to be the Covenant's Mongoose. Because it's like...
No, the Ghost is supposed to be the humans, or the Covenant's Warthog.
No, the Covenant's Warthog is the Revenant.
Look at all the other Halo games.
If we're going off of Reach standards, the Covenant's Warthog is the Revenant. The Covenant's Mongoose is the Ghost, because the Ghost is only one guy, but he gets the plasma cannon, and for offensive, the Mongoose gets the guy.
If you go classic Halo, it's Warthog the Ghost.
Well, I'm going off of modern Halo because that's what's relevant now.
But this is a continuation of Halo 3, not Halo Reach.
But
remember, Halo Reach was
similar looking to Halo Reach on a technical level.
Oh boy, look what I started.
Yes, it's a successor to Halo 3, but on technical level, it is a more of a Reach successor when you really look at it. You know.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, they can do whatever they want too, right?
I think Bungie even said that. It's like Covenant get Ghost. Yeah, only one guy can be in it, but he has the plasma cannon. UNSC gets Mongoose. Yeah, it doesn't have a gun on it, but like your gun is the guy on the back with whatever gun he has. That is the offensive to counter the Ghost, basically.
All right, Ghost always wins out pretty much, unless the guy in the back has rockets.
Or Laser, he's really good with it, or something.
Yeah, or something.
Every now and then you get a ninja with a sniper rifle on the back of a Mongoose.
No, they do that with the Revenant. You're thinking of the whole.
Well, it works a little bit for the Mongoose.
It's not a glitch, right? It's not an exploit. It's just kind of like a weird, right?
It's more or less Bungie made a mistake and let that go too far on the Revenant, where you could basically, as long as it's close to the reticle, you could get a body hit.
Oh yeah. See, and what happens is you go in a big team. And you wind up in those games with those like the 8-person clans, right? And they do that. The guy in the Revenant with the sniper just prowling around Hemorrhage, just taking out the entire your other team. Yeah.
Which sucks, by the way.
Just sucks.
Anyways, let's wrap this up. Custom Challenge and Super Jackpot are really not relevant anymore since Tuesday is come and gone for last week's bulletin. But for this week's bulletin, we actually have a lot more updated graphics for all of the pre-order bonuses. So make sure you go check out the bulletin if you haven't already. A couple extra things that we haven't seen anywhere else yet, but are bound to pop up in somewhere else now, since we now see them. But that is the Mjolnir emblem. It's another Spartan helmet emblem, except you're looking at the front of the Mjolnir helmet. We have the, I think there was one more in here somewhere. Nope, I'm mistaken. That was the only extra thing that we see in the bulletin that we haven't seen anywhere else. So that is all of the pre-order bonuses.
Huzzah!
Believe it or not. So we have a final list now. Where you can get them, we just talked about that. I'm not sure about the Mjolnir helmet yet, but I'm sure that'll come out soon. There's a forum post, but I'm not exactly sure where it's going, and it's taking a while to load at the moment. Everyone's probably posting about the new bulletin update, and it's probably, oh wait, the forums are down. That's right. Never mind. Way to post the link to the forums, and the forums are down. Way to go. Anywho, apparently Jess is going back to Canada and LA for more of the Forward Unto Dawn goodies.
Ooh.
That's what she said at the bottom. So I guess we'll see Frankie doing the update again next week.
You know, whenever I think of Frankie, I think of slices of pizza.
Why is that?
Because when they were building up hype for Halo, CEA anniversary, I swear every media outlet Frankie talked to about anniversary, when you see like a video of him, in some interview or something, like every single time he'd always be like, "Oh yeah, everyone remembers the fun Halo LAN parties where your buddy snipes you across Blood Gulch and you throw a slice of pizza at his face, blah blah blah. The Xbox Live, the infrastructure is so different, blah blah blah. This is why we're not." Bringing back the Halo 1 multiplayer, blah, 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 slice of pizza across the room.
All right.
That was like his shtick for basically the whole marketing campaign.
Pizza?
Yeah, like
pizza across the room.
Yeah, when you get sniped on Blood Gulch, throw a slice of pizza at your buddy's face, basically, at the LAN party.
Man, I wish someone would throw some pizza at me right now. I'm getting hungry.
All right. Well, that wraps up this show, guys. Sorry for not doing a show last week, but we're back in action. Feel free to email us about any of the stuff that we talked about in terms of pre-order bonuses or the leak stuff that we will talk about on the next show. And you can do that at submissions@podtacular.com, or you can use the green button on the front page of our site. And what is so funny?
Saying of the pizza.
Oh.
I think Frankie wants to throw pizza at someone.
Maybe we should change the title of this podcast to Frankie's Pizza Slice.
Works for me.
Oh, boy. Make sure you go check out our forums. We have beta forums up as well, and those are coming along pretty nicely so far.
I need to swing by there. I haven't checked them out yet.
I will hopefully be making a new update this weekend.
Cool.
So, most of the color schemes are in place. There's still a few things I have to go through and change in terms of the theme. But hopefully that'll be done by the middle of next month towards the end of next month. And by that time, hopefully we'll be able to get the forums transferred over. Now, we won't have any of the special mods that we currently have on the existing forums. Those will be integrated slowly into the new forums once they're deployed. And we're trying to get this over so we can get rid of the spam problem that we've been having lately. So PK's been doing a good job trying to catch it and keep it at bay. And major shout-outs to him for doing all that for us.
Yeah, you want to buy a wedding dress?
Not particularly, but why?
No, one of those spam bots was like, come, we have deals on wedding dresses, prom dresses.
Talk about knowing your audience, right?
We've had some interesting spam bots. Won't go there. We also had a pretty successful Podtacular matchmaking game night this past Monday, thanks to Karts, who set that up. Karts is a very, very old Podtacular member.
He's
he
like
was here
90.
He was here before. Not that old. He was here before I was here, to say the least.
Well, he's got to be like 90.
Is that a diss to me or is that a diss to Karts?
Yes. I kid.
Right. Make sure you visit by the forums and check out times for that. I think we're going to try to do them every Monday from here until the launch of Halo 4.
Nice.
So we will start using those videos also in the video commentary that we do for the Pod TV news section. So if you want to get in there somehow, you can come by and play on their game nights. And they start when, Daft?
Game nights? Oh yeah, they're every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Alrighty.
So just send a message to me or Karts or like Dusty, granted if he's there and not playing Minecraft
I didn't know about the last one, so
or Mass Effect.
I'll be playing them now since I know about them.
Just go over to the forums. We have a thread about their Monday night matchmaking. M.
M&M.
M&M, yeah.
Nicely done.
And
we like the M&Ms.
Yeah.
Chocolatey.
Yeah.
So
But
and we do some custom games afterwards.
Yeah, matchmaking, we big team, customs, zombies, good stuff. And on that note,
There's no fat kid.
Fat Kid isn't even fun.
No, it's not. I remember going to mini games with someone from Podtacular, and all he was doing was playing Fat Kid. It's like, God, that's so frustrating.
Yeah, the depressing thing about Fat Kid is like thinking back, like that was like, I swear, like that was like 50% of like Halo 3 customs. Like everyone who played Halo 3 customs, like hardcore, like back in the day, right? Even back like when we had the old like the Blades dashboard, like that long ago. Like I swear, I think like 50% of the time it was always Fat Kid. Like everyone was playing, it was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And everyone was just like throwing like the flame bomb grenades.
So frustrating.
Yeah. Well, it was like
it was alright.
How Fat Kid worked was like everyone who was not the Fat Kid, they were all just like like basically just laughing and just like screwing with the Fat Kid until he finally like killed someone, And then if I could finally have like a fast minion to go kill more people, and other than that, it was just like, oh, look at him go, look at him throw more nades at him.
Or then you would get the Bruce shot and shoot him all the way back to where.
Yeah, exactly. And that was when the fact it would just quit because it wasn't even fun. Yeah. Good times.
Let's see, what else do I need to plug? Listener voicemail, we still have that. We've been getting a few calls into it. Not many. Actually need to go see if it hasn't expired again. If that happens, I'm just going to get a Google Voice number for it, to be honest. Because, I mean, the service that we have, that we've used before, is one that got set up by the previous host, and it works. But, yeah, if the number just randomly expires, that's not going to be good for us.
Yeah.
But if you want to send us a voicemail, you can call our line at 206-339-6937. I missed the old one because it had Halo in it. But, that's what you're going to have to deal with for now. So if you want to send in your audio bit, you can do that, or you can send us an MP3 file with your submission as well, and we'll play those on the show whenever we get around to our next segment of voicemails, which may be in the next 2 weeks or so.
Very cool.
Very cool. Last but not least, the show that we're doing tomorrow or Friday, depending on when we decide to record it, is going to be talking about some of the spoiler stuff or the leaked content that came out. We have about 24 screenshots and a couple of videos of alpha stage gameplay. So we'll take a look at that and dab into those a little bit. And it should be a little bit shorter show than this because we don't want to talk too much into it because it's all unconfirmed stuff that we'll be talking about. So we'll take that with a grain of salt.
How long is this episode now? Like 2 hours?
2 hours.
Jeez.
On Monday, we will also have a show talking about what we see at the Xbox press conference at E3. For those of you who don't know, E3 is taking place in Los Angeles on the 4th through the 7th, which is Monday through Thursday of next week. And the Xbox press conference is live on Spike TV, and I think there's a couple of internet streaming sites that are doing it as well. But it's going to be 10:30 p.m., 9:30 a.m. Sorry, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time.
Oh, it's like nighttime thing to like kick off E3?
No. 12:30 p.m. is 30 minutes after.
Wait, you just said 10:30 p.m. What are you talking about?
12:30.
So 10:30 a.m.?
No, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time.
Okay, I swear you said 10:30 p.m. at one point.
Maybe I slipped. I'm sorry. What I said at the last bit is the correct one. 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 a.m.
You just did it again.
God damn.
Okay.
Someone else say it.
9:30.
See, now you're saying it.
All right, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
There we go.
How hard is that?
There we go. Really hard, apparently. Oh, geez.
I predict that we're gonna get a Fable 4 announcement because hopefully Lionhead will have realized that Fable Heroes and Fable the Journey are stupid.
I don't know, man. Fable Heroes looks pretty fun.
Blech. It's a poor man's Castle Crashers.
I've never played Fable, so I can't.
I think they'll announce Fallout 4 at this E3. I have a feeling.
That'd be cool.
They'll announce Fallout 4, and then it'll come out like fall 2013. Right. And then I could also see Battlefield Bad Company 3 being announced too. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because the Bad Company 2's ending was like kind of a cliffhanger, so it just makes sense.
Big time. Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of the Bad Company series. Battlefield 3 didn't do it for me, to be honest.
It did it for me, but I also like Bad Company a lot too.
Yeah.
But we need to wrap this up.
And because Battlefield 3, it has a whole like year of DLC planned. But it's like they could still release Bad Company 3 as a side thing.
Yeah, we'll see. So that's the schedule for the next week or so. And we'll do another one on Thursday after E3 is wrapped up. So, thank you guys for tuning in.
Wait, one last thing.
Greg is on the next show.
Wait, one last thing. I've heard some speculation that like just to seal E3's thunder on June 4th, like the day before, Rockstar is gonna release like a new GTA 5 trailer and announce their release date, like just to seal E3's like thunder basically.
That would be a dick.
That'd be awesome. Because let's be honest, the only game anybody cares about, in the long run is GTA 5 and Halo 4. That's it, right? 2 games.
All right.
Because we know GTA 5 is going to be monumental, right?
Don't get me started.
But I've never played it, so I can't.
Rockstar has done nothing but disappoint me this generation, but I'm one of the rare ones.
Serious?
Yeah. I think the old GTA games were a million times more fun than anything they've done on this generation.
Red Dead, LA Noire.
Yeah, they're great.
Max Payne 3.
They're great until you have to actually do something.
Oh no, I think the opposite. I think Rockstar is like they're right up there with they're real top tier. Like top tier, like the toppest tier of developers is like you know what I mean? Like the highest tier of developers is like Blizzard and Valve, and Rockstar. They're making their way up there with they got this whole like Rockstar Social Club thing going now. Like they got this whole like this network, this whole like family of franchises. They're working their way up there. They're really good. It's fantastic.
Right. Okay, guys. Well, that's our show. Tune in next time, and until then, keep on fighting trucks.